Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Hope everybody had a great New Year's. And to start off, we have yet another giveaway announcement. Can you believe it? This time, I'll be giving away 5 of these Larry Elder Show mugs. And who doesn't want to have a Larry Elder Show mug? So make sure you go to winlarry.com right now to enter the giveaway. I'm going to be announcing the winners this month, January 20th, live on the Larry Elder Show on Epic TV. So be sure not to miss it. Again, that's winlarry.com. Got that? And of course, thank you to everybody who signed up for the last giveaway. We really love engaging you guys, so please let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Now let's get today's show started, shall we? Days ago, this is how President Biden sized up the economy.
When we look at just the last 3 months, we see that inflation fell to 1.8% on an annualized basis. It's down from more than 11% in the first 3 months of last year. So the data is clear. Even though inflation is high in major economies around the world, it's coming down in America month after month, giving families some real breathing room. And the big reason is falling gas prices. My administration took action to get oil onto the market and bring down prices. Now gas is down more than $1.70 from its peak. And that adds up to a typical family with 2 vehicles to a savings of $180 a month, every single month, that stays in their pockets instead of being spent at the pump. Food inflation is slowing as well. Last month, we saw the smallest increase in food prices in almost 2 years. And much of that increase was due to the avian flu outbreak, which has driven up the egg prices around in the United States. It's not just gas and food prices, though. When we look at what economists call core inflation, which takes out energy and food, we see welcome news as well. Core inflation is down to the lowest level in a year. Over the past 3 months, core inflation has come down to 3% on an annualized basis. That's down from more than 6% at the beginning of 2022. The cost of goods is actually falling as prices from everything from computers to used cars are coming down as well. And inflation in the core services is moderating as well. Hundreds of thousands of small businesses permanently closed their doors. People were hurting badly. That's what we inherited. The pandemic was raging and the economy was reeling. We acted decisively to put in place a new strategy that would rescue the economy from the pandemic downturn. At the same time, we laid the foundation for a stronger, more resilient economy for decades to come. An economy that grows from the bottom up and the middle out. Now 2 years in, it's clearer than ever that my economic plan is actually working.
And federal revenue continues to soar with the Trump tax cuts, according to a report by the Congressional Budget Office. Now, joining me to discuss this is Elaine Parker, Chief Communications Officer of Job Creators Network. Elaine, what are we worrying about? Let's just do a victory lap and call it a day.
Exactly. Thanks so much for having me, Larry. Here's the real facts, because the president continues to not give the American people the real facts. Inflation is still at 40-year highs. It is up 6.5% over the last 12 months, and core inflation actually increased. It may have moderated a little bit month over month, but core inflation went up. And what core inflation is when you take out the volatile things like food and gas. That means Americans are still paying exorbitant prices for everyday items. And that is very hard for Americans who are struggling month after month. And as far as jobs go, Americans are still there's a lot of Americans that are sitting on the sidelines, and the president continues to brag about the unemployment rate, but he ignores the labor force participation rate, which is still severely depressed from pre-pandemic levels. We have millions of people who are sitting on the sidelines, not even being counted in our workforce. And if all of those people came back into the workforce, that unemployment rate would actually go up by about 50%.
Elaine, Biden, of course, says that inflation is a worldwide phenomenon. So we ain't the only ones. What's your reaction to that?
Look, the inflation rate is actually still 3 times higher than what the Fed targets. And it's almost 4 times higher than when President Trump left office. It is a direct result of the reckless spending of this administration. So when you hear the president say his economic policies are working, go to the gas station and talk to people filling up their tanks. Go to the grocery store and talk to people who are trying to buy milk, bread, and eggs. They will not tell you that the economic policies are working. This reckless spending has to stop. Our small businesses are hurting tremendously. The supply chain issues are killing them. Labor problems and getting labor to fill the jobs that they have open are killing them. Plus, wage inflation is killing them. Those are the real stories that are happening out there in America, instead of what the president is reading on a teleprompter.
Elaine, talk to us a little bit more about the labor force participation rate, what that means, and the large number of people that are not even counted.
There are millions of people that are sitting on the sidelines. Under this administration, we have policies in place. We had them in place under the American Rescue Plan that was passed by the Biden administration that actually paid people to stay home. A lot of those policies have expired, but there are still many states that are paying people exorbitant unemployment compensation. A family of four in many states can make $80,000 to $100,000 a year and have no incentive to go back to work. Those people aren't even counted in the unemployment rate that you see. And so if all of those people suddenly lost those benefits and they came back into the workforce and started looking for a job and were counted, that unemployment rate would skyrocket. And that's part of the problem, is that we don't have enough people to fill the open jobs that are there, is that they're sitting on the sideline because they have no incentive to come back to work. This administration paid people to stay home. They killed the American work ethic with their policies.
It still blows my mind that people were paid not to work. I remember seeing a study, a bunch of economists at Bank of America, and these are not Trump people, and they said if you're making $30,000 or less, it made more sense for you to stay home than for you to go out and get a job.
Absolutely. I mean, I personally have an example of that. I had my air conditioning break during the pandemic, and I had the actual owner of the air conditioning company came out. And it took him several days to get to me. I live in Florida, so it was a little on the hot side. And he talked to me about how he was having trouble getting people to come and work for him. And he said that he had hired a new technician who was entry level, and that he offered him a very good wage, and that the technician said he was going to wait until September when the unemployment benefits ran out, and then he'd come back to work. Well, this was July. There were still 2 more months. And I said, do you see that a lot? And he said, absolutely. People are sitting home waiting for those benefits to run out before they're going to come back to work. Then I asked him if he was going to hire him in September, and he said, absolutely not.
Elaine, you also mentioned that you believe it's changed the work ethic in America.
Absolutely. I mean, this administration has paid people to stay home. Like I said, the average family of four during the pandemic could actually make anywhere from, $60,000, $70,000 a year to not come to work. If it was a married couple, they could make as much as $100,000 a year. They were making more money to stay home than to come back to work. And so there was no incentive to do so. And that helped put us in the position that we're in right now.
What's that? The great Eldersky has in his baby brown libertarian right hand a pair of MYPILLOW My Slippers? I do. Aren't these beautiful? Look at that. And they come in different colors. They come in different styles. So if for some reason you don't like this style, and I think it's pretty cool, you have options. By the way, there are over 100 products on their website, MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Check them out. You can also call the number on your screen and order a MyPillow. Is that redundant? I think so. This is what started it all with MyPillow, this extremely comfortable pillow to sleep on. It also comes in different sizes. Again, call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com and be sure to use promo code ELDER. And this is a 6-pack, including the MyPillow My Towels. This is some of the most absorbent towels you've ever seen. Mike Lindell scoured around the country and he found out that the towels they sell here in America, they may look good, they may feel good, but they don't do the job. They don't absorb water. These do. Again, they come in different colors and in different styles. By the way, this MyPillow Giza Dream bed sheet comes in white. Why is mine in white? Well, because I'm the black face of white supremacy. What other color would I get? and I don't think they sell them in black. So these come in different sizes and in different colors, and it uses Giza Dream cotton. Giza is in Egypt, not an area of Egypt. It is in Egypt, not near Egypt, not close to Egypt, not above Egypt, not underneath Egypt. It is in Egypt. I've been informed. So call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Elder. Don't forget, over 100 MyPillow products. Don't forget, promo code Elder. Finally, let's talk a little bit about the Trump tax cuts, which, of course, Democrats said was going to deprive the Treasury of money to give away to the rich. But as what happened when Reagan cut taxes, W cut taxes, Calvin Coolidge cut taxes, John F. Kennedy's tax cuts went into effect after he died, the Treasury collected more revenue than before.
Absolutely. I can't think of a better vindication for all of us. For everyone who supported the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Job Creators Network was behind the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act from the beginning. We were pushing to help get it over the finish line. And now in 2022, according to the CBO, the federal government collected $4.9 trillion. It is $500 billion higher tax revenue than the CBO originally projected. Corporate tax revenue was higher by 25%. Individual tax revenue was higher by 11%. And yes, overall tax revenue since 2017, when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed, has increased by $1.5 trillion. Do you remember what the CBO said was going to happen if we passed this bill? They said it would cost us $1 trillion. I mean, they couldn't have been more wrong. But what it did was it allowed the Democrats to just malign this bill and tell people that it was just for the rich and the big corporations, and that the middle class and small businesses wouldn't benefit at all. And in fact, what it did, it ignited our economy, and we saw the greatest economy we had seen in half a century.
Now, Elaine, finally, and this time I really mean finally, and this is a political question, so you can punt if you want to. Given the midterm election and the economy, the inflation, the gas price